Okay, so I wanted to make a video. I felt inspired to make one about why I'm here and all the bad things that led up to my isolation. So, when I was 18, well, I went to college. I went to Martin Luther College in Minnesota, New Ulm, Minnesota, and uh, I was enticed into joining this group of guys by my football uh, classmate who was my age, Hans Tomford, and he was the leader of this gang of guys who he was the one who brought in this 15-year-old girl, and he had her give us all blowjobs for some reason. I thought it was stupid. So like after the first time, maybe not the first time, I got bored of it really quick, and I'm like, can I just have sex with her instead? Because I had a girlfriend in high school, Leah Fax, who was also 15. And I didn't think it was too out of the ordinary of an age difference when we were 18 and 15. But I was young. Anyway, I don't really truly remember, but at Martin Luther College, I was having sex with this other girl, who I don't even remember her name. But we were doing it in front of a camera as well, and the 15-year-old girl was in front of a camera as well, making Lutheran porn, man. Sorry. Um. So it seemed like all like a. This was a long time ago. I'm 32 now. This was when I was 18. So it kind of got to this point where they were trying to punish us if we weren't being obedient to our sex masters. And I've had trauma where I just can't control myself as good as the other people. So they had to punish me or something, and then they brought me to this Jason's wife. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just all very unscripted on my part. Jason's wife woke me up in the middle of the night. I didn't know what was going on. I think Hans Tomford, he asked me to get out of the club because I didn't like it. He said, well, you gotta do a thing. You have to bite Ercon's penis off. He told me that before. I'm like, I don't understand. So Jason's wife will randomly to me, he woke me up in the middle of the night and brought me to the second floor of the Concord Martin Luther dorm building, and he gave me a drink outside of one of the dorms. He said, you got to finish the drink before you enter the dorm. Okay. So I did. And then I went inside the dorm. And then I think they told me to sit on the top bunk of this bunk bed and just fall asleep for some reason. So I did that as well. And then I remember Jason's wife waking me up by shaking my chest with his hand on my chest. Shaking me up. So I got up, and I think I was drugged at that point. I think it was an open beer or drink. Something was in it. And then they brought me off the the top bunk of the bunk bed. They brought me down and put me on my knees. And then Jason's rifle. No. Yeah. Jason's rifle, he got behind me and held my hands behind my back. And I'm like totally, he just woke me up in the middle of the night and he gave me a drink, which was drugged. So I'm very spacey at this point. And they made Nicholas Caresson. They made me give him a blowjob. Yay. So that happened, and he was a pretty small guy. His penis was small. So I wasn't too mad about it. But then they did that again with Jason's rifle. I had to give Jason's rifle a blowjob. And he was not as small, but not huge. But when he came, his sperm was gross tasting, as opposed to Nicholas Cresson's, who wasn't that bad, I suppose, whatever. But I just remember I spit Jason's rifle's sperm out, and I said, "That's really gross." And they said, "No, you have to swallow it." Oh, fuck off. For the porn, man. I thought I was so spaced out. Anyway, after Jason's rifle, they had Eric Hahn was also in the room. So Eric Hahn pulled down his pants, and he was a big penis guy. And I said, "Back the fuck up." I screamed it at him. This was all in the middle of the night as well, too. Yeah, I was really resistant. I'm like, I'm not doing that shit. But they didn't listen to me. Non-consensual. They still held my hands behind my back. There were 4 other guys in the room at that time. 3 guys that I would give blowjobs to, and a camera guy. At Martin Luther College. Porn. At a Lutheran college. But I'm the crazy one. Anyway. So I started giving Eric Hahn. He started face fucking me. And I didn't like it at all. It wasn't consensual, but I was kind of spacing out over time. And then before he finished, Jason's wife pulled me aside and he said, "Okay, now you gotta bite off Eric Hahn's penis." I'm like, "What? That seems weird. Why can't you just do another thing? Go another route about this." But again, nothing. It wasn't consensual on my part at all. They just had me go through all these motions, and I ended up biting Eric Hahn's penis off. And then they all left the room, but locked me in the room. And I thought that was weird again. I'm like, why can't I go out of the room with you guys as well? But I remember trying to get out of the dorm room, but Jason's wife was at the door blocking it. And he said, "Jump out the window." And I said, "Fuck you." I'm not doing that. And then, Doug Van Sice, he later came in when everyone else was out of the room, and he told me to pull my pants down. I was like trying to sleep in the middle, on the floor, in the middle of the room where they raped me before. Just passing out, from the drugs. Doug Van Sice came in the room, and he told me to pull my pants down. I'm like, okay, first you want me to give you guys blowjobs and you want to fuck me up the butt or whatever? I'm like, that's so silly. And then I pulled my pants down. He said I had a nice butt. I'm like, dude, shut up, and I don't know what you want from me anymore. I'm just going to pass out. And then it felt like a sharp pain in my butt. And I remember, I know now that he was putting a chip in my butt to kind of surveil me forevermore by means of Hahn Sr.'s. There's a bank in South Dakota called Hahn Financial. So he was the one who funded all this rape and then surveillance after the fact. So he put a chip up my butt, and then he knocked me out with a bat. So I didn't remember any of this until 7 years later when I was induced with this magic mushroom type drug once again. Do people remember it? I remembered all this when I was in a MRI getting my brain scanned for, I don't know, spontaneously. Because I had been expelled the second time at MLC. Because it's a longer, different story. I guess I'll stop there. But I guess I also want to say that this is all kind of a big deal. Because when I jumped off a bridge after all this, and they threw off multiple people off 7-story buildings because I just kind of spontaneously said a thing like that when I was breaking down in a gym, which I'm sure you've all heard. If this reaches anyone and you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably can figure it out through Hahn's sexual camera stuff, which all my college friends are part of, my high school friends too. Pedophile. So stupid. So, I don't know if I can switch over now. I don't want to. So look me up if you get the chance and spread my story around so I can finally get some peace and justice. I am still alone today after 14 years because I bit Eric Hahn's penis off. I'm pretty sure they put a different chip in my butt or something, in my foot or something, when I jumped off that bridge 5 years ago, 4 years ago. All very stupid. All very predatory on Hahn's part. He's the one funding all of this. Oh yeah, after I bit Eric Hahn's penis off, then I was knocked out, and then I was taken in this gym room with this girl, Erin Leverance, who was a friend of mine at the time. and she brought in all the other guys who I would gang up and have a 15-year-old girl give us blowjobs, and then Aaron Leverins would give them blowjobs, and that broke my heart so much. And then she said, "Oh, just wait, it gets better," or something like that. And then this was all funded by Han. A bunch of black guys came in and they started raping Aaron Leverins and all the other freshmen college classmates I had at the time. Girls. Also, they brought in my other crushes, like they brought in Miley Cyrus, they brought in Gigi Hadid, another very prominent women model people, and they had all these black guys raping them as well too. So trash, man. All because they forced me to do a thing. And Eric Hahn totally consented to me biting his penis off. I remember him like nodding, like, "Yeah, do it," before I did it. But I'm the guilty party. I've been kind of lost to just think about all that stuff, and I don't like tell anybody prominently about it because I'm so working everything out in my own head, figuring it out. But nothing's gonna change anyway. But it's so stupid.